Yes.
Hello. Today I am interviewing Butler Family Farm, Susan, and I don't know if her husband he's hiding now. He heard me say husband and he started hiding. Hi, how are you?
Hang on one
I like your dog in the background. What kind of dog is that?
Well, that's the boxer.
second. The Great Dane right there.
Oh, the Great Dane's on the end of the bed,
Ah,
and then there's a boxer farther up on the pillows, and then there's two more someplace: a hanging tree cow dog and a lab. And we're down to 4. We normally carry 6.
have 6 dogs.
Well,
Welcome in Roberta, Ariella, and Autumn. Thank you for coming in.
that's okay.
We'll talk for a few minutes before I start the interview to give people time to get their notifications in.
Yeah.
But her and I were talking about couponing because I told her I had another channel where I do crafts and couponing. But the channel started out as Coupon Gail was the name. And then I later decided to combine the two and call it Gail's Crafts and Coupons. That way I could do either thing that I want to on there.
Right. Whatever strikes your fancy.
Yeah, whatever I feel like doing. So this is my main channel and that's my play channel. So I told her, I told Susan that she was my first interview since my sister passed away. So I needed to get back started on that. And next week I have Jen from Sassy Southern NC Girl. She's a paper crafting channel. She's coming on next week. And the week after that, I'm going to have Simply Jan Homestead on, and she's going to talk about cyberbullying. One of her friends on YouTube was cyberbullied. And I understand that because I had a little third channel called a crafting channel, and I did get some cyberbullying on that channel. So I do understand that. And also on Instagram, I had a little Instagram stalking thing. And I know my sister-in-law, Free Handley Maid, she did have a stalker. So it's really popular out there. I'm kind of one of those. I didn't talk about it at the time. But maybe I'll talk about it some with Jan. We'll see.
Yeah.
My friend the other day, she said, you're really good with interviews because when people aren't talking, you fill in the space with words. I'm like, well, I didn't start out real comfortable with that. It just kind of happened with time. Welcome in Nancy and Luann. And so I've gotten better at it. And I have my little process, and I actually do it the day of. Usually after I get back from church and have lunch, I'll get my little notebook paper out and I'll start watching their videos and writing out questions. I have some basic questions that I usually always ask.
Right.
And then I add in things that are specific about their channel. And then if I come across the video, I have a question, I write that down too, so I can ask them the question, and then everybody gets the answer. So,
Well, this is actually, Gail, the first live that I've done. Jerry always goes on with some of the channels that are of and I can hear him talking in the bedroom all the time. And so, but this is actually my first live, and I thought it would be fun to do this kind of thing.
Oh, I get to be your first. Oh,
Yes.
Well, that's good. I mean, I'm told that I make people feel comfortable because I'm not real fancy. I might put on makeup and do my hair, but I mean, I'm not intimidating. I'm just common. Hi, Jen. Jen is my interview for next week. So
the makeup and hair and stuff is the Southern girl in you. And
yeah, Southern. Yes. I was born in Fort Worth, Texas, but raised in Abilene, Texas. And now I live in a little tiny city about an hour from my hometown. But that's where my husband lived, and we were kind of internet dating. And we lived an hour away from each other. He would come there. And then after a while, after we got to know each other more, I would come here, Yeah. But we spent a lot of time on the phone talking. So I had a good idea of who he was. And then we would even go to church together. Like he would go to the Cowboy Church in Abilene, and then I would go to the church here. And then eventually we got married and I moved here because he was divorced and he has 2 children by another mother. Yeah. And I don't have any kids. So it was easier for me to move here and kind of adapt to his life than it was for him to move away from his kids. Right. And one of them graduated last year. Awesome. The oldest, and then this year the youngest is graduating. So, and last night she had her She was nominated to the homecoming court. She didn't win. And she's not like one of these popular types. I was really, really surprised. But what it was is she was real active in band.
Yep.
And I think what it was is the whole band liked her and all the band people voted for her. I think that, because imagine the band.
Well,
They bonded together and voted for her because, she's not like this popular, she's just not, I don't picture her to be that kind of person. So I was like, what? You were nominated. So we did the thing at the homecoming game. And then last night was the coronation. I was kind of wondering what it was, but they introduced the whole court, and then they had dancers and singers, and it was just this whole big thing. And I made a video about it. I'm going to put it out sometime this week, but I have to watch it all the way through and kind of edit and put it together. But it's right now it's sitting on about a 20-minute video, but it might be 15 by the time I get through doing a little editing.
For something like that is pretty good.
Yeah, I think. And sometimes I put out those types of videos. I don't know that everybody necessarily wants to watch those, but I have family members on YouTube.
Yes.
And also I could send them, because I have her aunt is on YouTube. Then I have my brother used to be on YouTube, but he's not anymore. And then her grandma and grandpa, like I could send that video to anybody and it would have all that in there. And at the very end, I'm going to put the pictures that were sent to me or that we took. And
right.
And so we'll have all that. And I kind of put it in a family folder. And then even when they get older, those videos will still be sitting in there of family Christmases and band things and different things I've done through their school years are all together. So there'll be a nice
That's
folder.
one reason we started a YouTube channel is because we're out here in Missouri, and he has a sister in Missouri that watches our videos, but he has another sister up in Washington that we haven't seen for a while. And so she's able to follow and see all the stuff that we're doing. And then my side of the family is in California. So I'm not sure how often they watch, but periodically. But it's out there for them to see what we're doing, visual, so just talking about it, they can see visually what we're doing. So that was our intent and still to this day for the YouTube channel. Because we actually started it late, Jerry has to be my husband has to be in the mood, and it kind of has to be his idea before it takes off.
Yeah.
And, once he's in, then once he's okay with it, then my younger son and I, we just keep pushing, and keep it, going and developing and whatever. So, but that was our point in getting the YouTube channel going, was for family.
Yeah, and that was going to be my first question. Why did you start your YouTube channel? So you answered the first question. Hello, Freckled and Frugal. Welcome in. She's one of my new friends I just found recently. I go around and kind of look for new channels every once in a while. And I happened to come across her channel, which I did enjoy. So how long have you been on YouTube?
We just had our 1-year anniversary last November.
1 year anniversary. Mm-hmm. I'm a little bit over 2 years now.
Yeah,
myself.
Yeah,
go ahead.
We're hoping to get our 1,000 subscriber mark in September or close to the second year. That would be awesome. So
yeah, that would be
our goals this year is to get that point going.
Well, if there's anything I can do to help, like if you want a video shared or something, you're welcome to email me any questions, or if you want me to share a video for you to help you get more views, I could share from both of my channels and try to get you. And I put in there, what state are you in, which Luann already knows the answer because she typed, what part of Missouri are you in? So she had a question. So she knew you were in Missouri.
We live down what they call the southwest corner of Missouri. Within 30 minutes, we can be in Arkansas or Oklahoma or Kansas.
Uh-huh.
It's really kind of odd because we came from California, and the counties are from like the ocean to the state line. And we moved here, and within minutes, we're in another part of, a county here in Missouri. So we're 30 miles from Joplin. It's called Stark City.
Yeah, I've heard of it. I was kind of just there briefly. I went up with Simply Jan, and we drove into the prior meetup together. So I was only there briefly. And I was on the phone with her earlier today, and she did know you were in Missouri too. So, and she said she met you too as
yes,
well.
I was going to say we met her last October at a meetup that we went to in Pittsburgh, Kansas.
What kind of things do you do on your channel? What kind of activities? Hello, Joy Blessed Life.
It's our life. I video as I'm walking to the barn to take care of goats. We show going out and fixing fences. We're going to have some building projects that we're going to be doing this year. We just, we have to remember to take the camera because there's been times when something's happened. We should have video that. So we're trying to keep that in the, foremost in our walk out the house and pick up the camera, no matter what, whether we video or not, we're at least prepared. But we do lots with the videos with the animals, and we're in goat kidding season right now. I've had a set of twin girls so far, and I'm waiting on, I'm going to say 8 to 10 other girls to have babies. And
wow, you're busy over there. I think that would be so neat to see a baby goat. I think that would be, I've seen them on videos. I haven't even really seen like a birth until I started YouTube. And I think it might have been the Vineyard Chicks. They didn't show, they showed little pieces, not the gory details, but they showed pieces of it. And then right after, and everything. And that was cool. That was cool to watch. That was my first experience with that. We did live in the country for a little bit when I was younger. I'm in a small city now of about 5,000 people. And so mine is all backyard. I have backyard chickens. I have cats. I have a fish. And I do some canning occasionally, dehydrating, and I do gardening and cooking on my channel. So it kind of fits along with a lot of things that the homesteaders do, though I'm not a full-blown homestead. I would call mine like backyard homesteading.
Well, yeah. I think
do the best I can with the space I have, basically.
Well, I think homesteading is to be able to be as self-sufficient as you can, as much as you can do with what you've got in your environment. And gardening's at the top of my list this year. I want to make mine bigger, more, and I'm going to do 3 different types of gardening. I tried some of it last year, and there's a couple of years I didn't do anything because the weather just made it just so soggy. It rained from like March until June, July. There was just no way to get out there and even do straw bale gardening. So
I had hail, drought, and extreme heat. So I decided this year I'm going to do this new collaboration called #BlessYourGarden. And you're either going to walk around and bless all the pieces of your garden, or you're going to sit in a chair and you're just going to pray for your garden. Because it was so bad last year. And you know what? The hail will fall all around it, but it's going to stay off my garden this year. I'm praying for success of the garden. Just help me out. I'm going to do the best I can to put in what I can put into it. But that's going to be a hashtag I'm going to do this year. #BlessYourGarden. And I looked up that hashtag, and nobody has used that. #BlessYourGarden is not used. And I even thought about putting a year on the end of it. I don't even need to. Nobody's ever done it.
Great.
It doesn't come up. So I'll be looking for that. I haven't decided. I want to get kind of an idea of when people start gardening. Because I'll probably end up doing my weird container growing one too. And I want to kind of get an idea of when people are starting so I can start these collaborations. So I may even have both of those kind of running at the same time. But basically on that one, you're just going to make a video and you're going to mention that you're praying for your garden. And it's going to remind other people, pray for the success of your garden, because all of that, to me, everything good that comes out of your garden comes from Him.
Exactly.
The dirt, the plants, the whole idea of it. And it's to grow healthier food, which is what we want to do, because we know we didn't put any chemicals on it. So we know it's healthier than what was in the store.
Absolutely.
So let's see what I have. So you've got a lot of different animals on your farm. What kind of animals do you have?
Okay. We have right now our cow herd is down to 27, and I have 4 young ones behind the house. So basically 31 cows. We have about 15, 16 goats. I have 3 llamas. I have a mom and dad llama, and then their son, which is off with the calves. And I have a couple of horses and 3 or 4 donkeys, waiting on a donkey baby any day.
Yeah, I saw the donkey video. I was like, oh, it's so cute. The ears. I love the ears. They're so cute. And their nose.
Yeah.
They're
And
cute.
then I've got chickens.
How
And
many chickens do you have?
well, I have 20 right now, but they're not all laying. And the reason why was last fall we had an intruder, raccoon came through and wiped out half my flock.
I
And-
lost 4
Yeah.
2 raccoons. I think it was 2021. So this year in the spring, I'm seriously thinking about getting 6 to add to mine. So that would bring me up to 17.
Yeah. Well, I don't raise the chicks anymore. That's more than I want to put in, because when we
But you
moved,
have a lot more animals than me. I only have the
right.
two.
And when we moved here, both Jerry and I had off-property jobs, and so you get at home at 5. Anyway, it's just more than I want to do. So we were able to find a source up in Joplin, and I can go up there and buy chickens I've paid $8 when it was the start of the pandemic. I've paid 5, and other times I've paid 2 or 3. But they're chickens that are pulled out of the chicken houses, because we've got a big industry out here. Butterball has chicken houses. There's a place called George's, and Tyson's out here. And so they rotate the chickens out. And when they get to be like a year old, they sell them off. And so I'm getting like year-old chickens that are still in good, laying stages. Yeah. But this last batch that I got from the gal, she pulled them off her sell list because they were so rough looking. So these gals about 12 of them are just now getting into shape. And of course the days are getting more light. So I'm expecting to, and I have customers I had to shut off because I didn't have the eggs to supply to them. And I feel bad with the price that they are right now, because I was always under the store price. So, but yeah, 20 chickens right now.
20, yeah. And I'm going to get 6 more. Well, we lost 4. And then after that, somebody heard we lost chickens. So somebody gave us 2 game hens that were young.
Yeah.
And they are laying. So not currently right now, but it's probably the weather, different breeds and the weather. I'm getting about 6 eggs, 4 to 6 eggs right now in the winter. But it's also Texas, where it's not too cold. Welcome in, sis, Free Handling Maid.
Well, I've got the cold, but I also have the light situation. It's not, the daylight isn't long enough. I figure in February, I've watched the trend. I think in February it'll start picking up, and then we'll be good.
I noticed around my birthday is February 2nd, Groundhog's Day. I noticed the chickens pick back up their laying around my birthday, around February 1st, 2nd, 3rd, that first week of February. So the way I remember when the chickens will start laying fully is February 2nd is my birthday, and that's hello, Life with Melinda and Chef. Welcome in. Let's see what my next question is. I noticed that you do some cooking on your channel. What is your favorite recipe that you've cooked on your channel?
I just did a copycat Taco Bell recipe the other night, watching another channel.
Is that one out yet, or is it coming out?
It's out there. It's a short. It was a short. The enchilada from Taco Bell is a huge favorite in the house. And we saw this video, and I said, I'm going to make those, because we do Taco Friday. Every Friday night we do tacos, and sometimes it's just beef tacos, or we do fish. We rotate different things. And so now the enchilada is going to be added into the rotation. And I
love any kind of stuff like that.
Yeah. I got it from the channel's Catherine's Plates. Yeah. And she had this video. They had the Taco Bell copycat of the Mexican pizza, the crunch wrap, and the enchilada. And it's really
Oh,
Realistic, yeah.
that sounds
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
I joined the pantry challenge from Three Rivers Homestead. I didn't catch January, but I'm going to go ahead and join it for February.
Yep.
And one of my recipes to use up some of the stuff in my pantry is I pulled out, everything that was almost at date where I needed to use it.
Yeah.
And I took my regular beef enchilada recipe in mind, but I added more, and I used about 9 different things in there, and it's really good. And my husband was sick, so he wasn't really eating a lot of food, and it was kind of a little spicy. So I ate on it a few days, but that day, because I knew he was sick, I put some in the freezer. So when he gets better, I'll heat that up and add like cheese with it, or maybe like some Mexican cornbread, or something like that when he gets better. Hello, Rick from Twin Brook Acres. How are you? So, yeah, that pantry challenge is cool because I've been
watching. Yeah, I've been watching it. I didn't do it, but I've been watching it and picking up some tips.
I wasn't going to do it, but then Luann mentioned how it was doing really well, and I thought, well, it really did get me in there. I put some cans on my counter and some cans on my dining room table, and I inventoried that. I haven't gone through these other cabinets yet, but what I thought I would do is for the rest of January, I would just kind of finish my inventory. Then I would make up a meal plan, and I would have that all. And then the first week I would have recipes, which I already did one, which will go up the first week of February for the beef enchilada soup. So
I've been watching.
It was good too. I really liked it.
The cannery to 2023 with Sutton Days. And yesterday was so cold that all I did was feed animals. So I watched some of her inventory and videos that she's got out there about cleaning out your freezer and all that kind of stuff. So I did do my pantry. I still have the 2 freezers. I have 2 freezers to go through. But I did
I'm going to do that in February. So
yes, I did get my pantry done because there's another challenge out there that Tony from Kettle Kitchen is hosting. It's the $5 grocery pantry challenge. You can buy $5 worth of food for your pantry to beef it up every week and not spend more than $5 and see what you can get for $5. It was interesting, but it got me motivated to at least clean out my pantry and see where I'm at.
I had some cans that were either almost out of date, we're going to go this year, or we're a little bit, but enough where I could still use it. So I have those things in a specific area. So I know those are the cans I need to have. Actually, right now, they're still on the kitchen table because I'm going to make up a meal plan with those. I had some evaporated milk that I needed to use. So I thought, if I can't use them for some kind of recipe, I can always use them to make like pudding or something. Use it put them in the fridge, use it for cooking, cooking milk. But anyway, I needed to get those used up. And then I had some green beans and just some enchilada sauce, which your enchiladas probably would work with. Do you use enchilada sauce on that?
Yes. Yep. Red sauce. You could probably use a green sauce too, but we use a red sauce.
And that's what I have that I need to get rid of is my cans of enchilada sauce. That's one of my things I need to use up. So I might check out your video. Because that's something I do need to use. Let's see what we got on the questions for next. Let's see. I was just going to ask you about salmon. When you cook salmon, what do you put on it? I've never really cooked it before. I noticed that you're cooking that there.
That particular video, we put it on a cedar plank, and we cooked it out on the was it the barbecue or the oven?
The smoker.
On the smoker. And that was a method we picked up on in a restaurant. But you have to have really, really, really thin cedar planks. And I just put lemon and some onion and lemon, salt and pepper. I don't,
Okay. So pretty
basic.
Pretty basic stuff. But I have had salmon off of the grill before, but I've never done it. But it was really good. I really liked it.
Yeah.
And I need to check out your Sloppy Joe casserole recipe. I noticed that and I was like, oh, I marked that one to watch. I marked that one on my list to go back and watch it all the way through and save it. I have a place where I save stuff, recipes I want to try. So I do want to try that. I bet that would be good.
That was a November Noodle collaboration. Yeah.
Yes, and I did do that. I did my first pasta ever with that collaboration.
Really?
Yeah, my husband bought the attachments for my KitchenAid so that I could make pasta, and I need to get in there and do another pasta making recipe. That would be awesome. So you were talking about you do different methods of gardening. I'll tell you what I do, and then you can tell me what you do.
Okay.
I have raised beds, the wooden ones on the ground.
Yeah.
I have the raised planters. I have two of those. And then I have containers like pots and totes I grow in. So that's what my growing methods are. I don't do straight in the ground gardening because it's crazy weeding stuff that I hate. And then you could tell me what you're doing. I thought I'd just tell you what I do real quick so you would know.
Well, the first garden I did after we moved out here, the Johnson grass took over and it was in ground and it was very defeating. This Johnson grass out here just took over because we stirred up the seeds and when we rototiller. So I didn't garden for a couple of years. And then a girl at work told me we talked about straw bale gardening. And I bought the book and I read it and I tried it and I loved it. I was successful. I haven't been successful in planting seeds in the straw bales. And there's a conditioning process you have to do, but I haven't planted seeds in it because it didn't work. I have to buy the starts already, buy plants that have already started. And so I did that for several years. And then a quilting show I picked up on, she mentioned container gardening and she mentioned Hollis and Nancy's Homestead. And so I started watching that. So I do their method of container gardening. You drill holes in the bottom of buckets, plant and grow. And so I do that. And then Jerry watched some videos of self-wicking tubs. So we went out and found the big containers that cattle people use that have the mineral in it. And they're huge. They're like 20 gallons. And so we bought a bunch of those. And so we did self-wicking. And those didn't work out quite as well because that was his thing. And we disagreed on a few points. So I just left him to his own devices. But I'm going to do that. And
I'm the gardening person. My husband builds the things I ask him to build. Like last year, he put T-post in my raised bed. I have one cemented raised bed on the side of the house, and that's my tomato area. And he put up T-posts last year so that I could tie the tomatoes on.
Yeah.
So I have to compost that really well because I want to continue to put the tomatoes there. So I have to keep, amending the soil. Hopefully I do good this year. The year before that, crazy amounts of tomatoes. Last year, I just did not have a good gardening year. And that's why I'm starting the year off very first thing with a prayer for the garden. So it'll do better. Hello, Tammy, Mountain Grandma. How are you? Let's see what I have on the list here. So you're mostly doing the bucket gardening.
I'm doing all three. No, I'm going to do all three. I'm going to do straw bales again. I like that.
Strawberries.
And I'm going to do the containers because I did my sweet potatoes in big 55-gallon barrels that we bought, and we cut the top off. Those came out well. And I had potatoes and other things. And my tomatoes did okay. I just have to think it through a little bit more, I think, on the dirt and stuff. But I've been collecting containers from a little jam shop that we have, a Mennonite jam shop down the road. And when they bring in they're done with the 4-gallon buckets, they set them out by their driveway and they're free for anybody that wants to come and get them. So I'm stockpiling on those. And I'm going to get one of those green stock planters, where it's got.
Oh, yeah, I have seen those.
Yeah, because I've got some strawberry plants coming from a nursery when it's the right time of the year. And I want to put those out on my back patio that we have.
Yeah, I would like to get one of those. I've been meaning to put that on my birthday list one year, and I keep forgetting.
Yeah, you need
to have my husband get me or order me one of those.
Yeah.
And I think he's already planned out anniversary, Valentine's, and birthday for this year. So maybe I could ask for it for Christmas, and then And then I would be ready for the next year if I can remember that. Maybe I can put it on my Amazon list, and then it'll still be there next year, and then he can order it for me.
There you go. There you go. There's always a way.
Yeah, it's exactly. Let's see what I have. What is your favorite vegetable to grow in your garden?
Zucchini.
Me too. I like zucchini.
Because I like zucchini.
Tomatoes for me, and then maybe I like to grow those tomatillos.
Yeah.
I make dips and different stuff with that. So yeah, zucchini. Me too.
Zucchini.
Let's see. What breed of goats do you raise?
We started out with Boer goat, a meat goat, and they do better in a more drier climate than what we have than our winters. So we're moving into Kiko. And so even a Kiko Boer mix is better than just straight Boer. And I really like the look of the Spanish Kikos. So that's what we're doing right now. We have 50-50, or I think 2/3 of Boer and 1/3 of the Kiko. But yeah, we're moving more towards Kiko.
Yeah, I've heard of the Kiko. I think that's what Lala Farms does, is the Kiko goats. Yeah. Planting trees in totes.
Those totes are interesting. They're originally I started getting them from a plant that makes dog food, and it has liquid vitamin stuff in there. And a friend would bring them to me. And then the guy across the street, he has a big farm, and he's got a lot of them over there that we just cut the top off for the trees. And then we've got some big rock to put down in the bottom for about yay so. And then we mix it with mushroom dirt and topsoil, and then put the tree. And it's on a pallet on the bottom. So then the forklift of the tractor can move it wherever I need to move it. And so I'm putting a couple of these particular trees in shade trees out by my dog kennels, because during the spring and summer, the dogs have a place to go for the day, and they're not in the house like they are for the wintertime, but they go out there, but they need some shade. And then, that's trees and totes.
Trees and totes. Yeah, I saw that. I was like, trees and totes.
Yeah.
Welcome in Nona Grace and Dragon's Picks. How are you guys? Dragon's Picks has actually been interviewed on here before. He does he cuts wood and works on saws. So I have done everything on this channel, from
variety,
the beer review guy to homesteading, mostly homesteading though. But the beer review guy was funny though. He just had a funny personality. Traveling channels, I've done lots of different kinds of channels. But, homesteading people listen to homesteading stuff all the time. So I thought once in a while have on somebody that they're just like, who is this? And but I like doing the interviews. I kind of got out of the habit of doing them. And, but it feels like you
do a really good job.
Thank you. I try to, I write all my stuff down. And then, I go off the script too. Sometimes you get talking and you go out of order. And then when you get to that one, you're like, nope, I already did that one. But compare living in California to living in Missouri. That's a big difference.
It's totally opposite, because we lived in the city. We had a backyard that went into a kind of like a culvert, but there were no houses there. So we were able to terrace it off. And we used to raise canary birds and several other different types. And we had chickens in our backyard, but it was a city life. You come home from work, your kids are doing things, and, it was just busy, busy, busy. And then even after we moved out here, we both worked, like I said earlier, off property, but, I always look forward to coming home,
Are you both retired now?
Yes. Well, yeah. We're officially retired from working off property, but I still have a schedule every day. I've got things going in my head that I want to do, whether it's inside, outside. It's just
I know. I have
I
all
mean,
kinds
how
of
I did
little
that.
favors, information where I'm like, this is a goal. Well, I don't know if you. Let me say this before I forget. Uh, Welcome in storyteller Donnie, and thank you, Nona Grace, for the compliment. Um, what was I going to say? What was I about to say before I said I'm going to say this, and I was going to say something else.
Well, we were talking about retiring and
Oh, yeah. Well, I got an injury at the school I worked for, and I injured my neck. And they didn't do all the scans they should have done, but I think it also affected my back as well. So I'm pretty much a stay-at-home wife now. My husband works, and he has a good job, and we've adjusted to living on just his income, and
right.
it's fine. And then I have YouTube. I have a little bit of YouTube money. I was getting paid pretty good every other month, but then I took that time off when my sister passed away,
Right.
and December was not good, and January's not been good. So I did not get paid for January. So hopefully, maybe February, maybe March, we'll see. But yeah, if you take any kind of a tiny little break on your channel, it's totally going to affect you. Hello, Braceways. Domestic engineer. Yes, I am a domestic engineer. I take care of the animals. I work on my YouTube channel. I take care of the house and I do gardening. So right now I'm doing crafting, but when the gardening starts, the crafting will slow down because I got to focus at least till you get it out there.
Right. Once you get it started.
Once you get it started, then you can kind of go back and do a little bit. But there might be a few weeks in there where I'm a little slower on the crafting channel because I'll be so busy putting out the seeds. But I did first thing I always do is my seed inventory to see what I have, and then I write down what I need. Well, I was doing Indiana Backyard Gardeners.
I saw that.
And so I went ahead and wrote the wish list of 10 items. It's what she asked for in order. And so she says probably she has all that stuff. So she's probably going to end up.
I was going to ask you how that worked out, how that position.
Yeah, I sent in. This is my first seed swap.
Seed swap.
I've seen a lot of them, but I've never participated. But they can't get too complicated. One of them I was going to join was like wanting you to put it on some kind of Excel spreadsheet, and Excel makes my brain hurt. So I couldn't do that one. It has to be something simpler. Now, you could have hand wrote your list, but just to make it look neater for the video, I actually typed it.
Yeah.
Just because it looked nicer. Plus, when I send it to her, it's nice and neat, and she can read it. Thank you, Brea. Thank you so much. I got so many beautiful sympathy cards. I think I'm going to take and make some kind of a album kind of thing with it. Some kind of album or something where I can look at them later. But yeah, I got a lot of pretty. Thank you, Jen. Yes. Did she lose somebody? Oh, she lost her husband. Oh, that's my worst fear is to lose my husband, because then I would be in this house all by myself.
Yeah.
That would be so terrifying. I think I would have to probably like get a roommate or something, but it had to be somebody really, calm and I don't know, non-intrusive. And I don't know what to say, how to say that. I'd have to be very picky.
I was going to say,
you couldn't get someone who parties or has, a ton of people or would keep you up at night, or who would go in the kitchen and use up a bunch of stuff and not try to help you replace stuff. It just would have to be the right person. You would have to have somebody really good. And I have one of my daughters that says she's never going to leave home. So I thought, well, however tragic that sounds to most people, I thought, well, if she's like that when she's older, maybe she could just move in with me and keep me company. At least I'll have somebody to talk to.
My youngest son said that when he was I don't know, 8 or 9. He says, I'm going to live with you guys for the rest of my life. And he's still here. He's still living at home.
Oh, okay. So,
But
I guess sometimes they say that and they mean it, but
right. But
he
he
is,
works on the farm, so it's not like he's just not doing anything. He's been a tremendous help to us, because when we moved out here, this land, our property was all crops. They raised corn, and we did that for a while, and then it was just really hard because we couldn't afford all the equipment you need to do that. So we'd have to commission it out to others, and then we were on their timeline. They would fit us in when they could. And so one day my husband says, and this is about 5 or 6 years ago, he says, wouldn't it just be easier when we were, when we're older and retired, just to go out and open a gate and have the cows come through? And I said, sure, if that's what you want to do. So that's how we got everything converted over to, cows. And we started our herd bottle feeding dairy cow, half dairy, half Angus babies that a dairy farmer down the road had. You just didn't need them. And so we started out with 5, and somebody else had some, not just ones that didn't meet their standards, and offered them to us. And Jerry worked for an ag services company. And so we had all this contact with these kinds of people. And that's basically how we built our cow herd up. Now, our bull that we raised on the farm had his first, one of the babies from last year was from a female that we raised and the male that we raised. And that was very exciting for me. It was our first farm raised child, or not child, but calf. And I thought that was really exciting. But anyway, that's how we built that all up.
Well, my first really animals like that were these chickens. These are the first chickens I've ever had. I think I had some. I was at home when my parents had some when I was younger, but I didn't really pay attention to the details. I didn't learn anything. I had to learn it all from YouTube. So last year, somebody had given us a rooster, and he seemed okay, but our hens were starting to get pecks on the back of their head. And we noticed one of them had an injury, and it was my very first chicken that laid an egg. Her name was Penelope, and my husband named her Penelope. And he pecked her, and then my husband thought, "Oh, you're just being too much of a mama hen, right?" So he put her back in there, and he killed her.
Yeah. Did you say goodbye to the rooster?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Immediately. Yep, we have a friend who has roosters and hens, and just let's just say it wasn't even a nice environment for him. Mm-hmm. We did not send him on vacation. He went to a place where he was going to have to fight himself for his own stuff. So,
payback.
We did that on purpose. So Mama was not very happy because, they were my first chickens. So
yes.
She was the first one that laid an egg. I was attached to her. I was mad. Like when the 4 chickens got killed by the rooster, I was kind of sad for a while. It was like my little babies, they were like my pets, because I'm a city girl. I'm not, I'm not tough. I'm not out there whacking the heads off of anything. Now, I'm not so fluffy that if it gets to the point I need to eat them, I will. I'm not, I'm not that person,
right.
But I did grow up with hunting. My dad is a hunter. My brother's a hunter, but I didn't participate on that. I was in the kitchen with Mom. And once they got the deer inside the house, Mom would be cutting off the pieces, and we would be bagging it and labeling it and put it in the freezer. Yeah. So our whole family participated. We were a hunting family, but
in one way or another. Jerry,
go ahead.
But he takes it. It goes to the processor, and then I go pick it up, put it in the freezer. I don't process it here. I suppose if I had to, I could or would, but I don't, so I choose not to.
Yeah, if I had to eat, if the world goes crazy and I have to, I will.
Right.
But I'll promise you I'm going to eat the ornery ones first.
I had a mean rooster that when I would go out to let them out or check eggs or feed or whatever, he would come up and attack the backs of my legs and whatever with his little spurs. And I finally, I said, this, he's gone. We picked him up, put him in a cage, took him down to the other end of the property and let him go, and never heard from him since. So he had to go out and figure out his way of life after that, because I wasn't gonna, I'd come back in with my ankles all beat up, and I just didn't appreciate it very much. I was feeding and watering him and providing a home for him and a roof over his house, and he had to, attack my ankles. So I pulled the string on him.
Yeah, definitely the ornery go first. Nona Grace agrees with me. Yeah, we start with the ornery ones and work our way down. If you're really hungry, you will do it. And I was brought up I will eat it. I'm not against eating it. I prefer not to eat the ones I know the names of. But I know the names of all of mine. Yeah. But I'm just saying, because I named them, I don't plan to eat them. But if I have to, because I'm hungry, I will eat them. Let's see what I got on the thing here. I saw that you had snow. Do you still have snow on the ground there?
I think it's the last one's gone, but we're getting ready for another one. It's like 24 degrees outside with the wind chill factor, making it down into the teens today. And tomorrow, I think we get some more snow tomorrow is predicted.
Yeah, we had one time it snowed really early in the morning and I didn't see it. And then another time it snowed right before dark, so I didn't see it. So as far as I'm concerned, I have not seen any snow on the ground. I seen a little bit of flakes one day, but I didn't actually get to end up seeing it. So
we had one December, and I can't tell you when it was, but it's been quite a few years back, 3 weeks of not snow, but it snowed, and then it was so cold the snow stayed. And it was like 3 weeks. I couldn't believe, and I think maybe it snowed in between, but it was so cold that the snow just stayed around for 3 weeks. And it was pretty in the beginning, but then it started melting, or the roads, and then it gets ugly.
It was actually there was ice on the road yesterday. My husband hasn't been feeling well, and I wasn't really in the mood to cook anything. So he offered to buy McDonald's if I would go get it. So I did that, and I had no idea it was icy. I pulled out onto the road, and my car kind of, and I was
and your heart stopped
down, and the people are going past me, but I'm like, after I do that, I go slower.
Yeah.
Even when I pulled in and out of McDonald's, I was real careful, because I was like, I didn't know it was icy like that. I had no idea. I didn't look at the weather. It didn't seem it. There was no indication of it, so I didn't know. And God was watching out for me, because I'm fine and the car's fine. So
that's good. And you got home with dinner.
And I got home with our breakfast. So what is the most common amount of goats that you get at one time? Is it 1, is it 2, or is it 3?
I'm going
to say that some have triplets. Is 2 the most common though?
Yes. 1 to 2 twins. I think I have a nanny out there that she had triplets 2 years ago, and she looks like she could do it again this year.
Wow.
So, but usually 1 to 2.
1 to 2. That's kind of what I was thinking from what I had heard. Are you doing any collaborations for your channel this year?
Yes. In fact, after this, because it's what we're having for dinner, we're in the chili smackdown that Not For Nothing Homestead Ginger and Tony from Kettle Kitchen are doing next month. We're going to do our video today. And then we're probably going to be in the Last Chance Cook-Off again. Well, we're going to be in the Last Chance Cook-Off by invitation this year. I didn't know about collaborations, and this is a funny story. I didn't know about collaborations, and I was watching a Walker Family Fam Farm, And she started the video out with doing this pork chop thing and talking about last chance cook off, and had this little emblem up there and a hashtag and all that. And I thought, oh, hey, that's pretty, kind of cool. So I did her pork chop recipe, and I put hashtag da 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 da. And so my video of shout out to her popped up on their string. And I guess, and then I did another one on somebody else's. I think it was Ginger's Italian seasoning. And I just threw it in there. I didn't know it was by invitation only, but by us putting the hashtag on there, it popped into their string. And so these, the hosts, and Tony and Dale from 9 Acres and Mitchell from Hendrickson Farm, they're going, what the heck is this woman doing? And they were,
I
please.
call them open and closed collaborations.
Yeah.
I've only ever done open collaborations.
Yeah.
I've been invited and joined in on others' closed collaborations, but I personally have only had open collaborations. But I will join them if they ask me.
I told Jerry, I said, we didn't do a photo bomb, we did a video bomb. But anyway, it put our name out there, and so we were invited to do, Noodle November last year with Tony, and then we got invited to do the Chili Smackdown for February, and Dale's doing an open/invite in April for everything. I can't remember the name of it, but it's like recycle, repurpose, reuse. And so we're going to do that one. And I'm not sure of any others at this point, but, it was fun. But yeah, that was our initiation into collaborations. I just, video bombed.
I don't know if you heard of it last year, but last year I did a collaboration called Fall Fest 22 giveaway.
No.
And it was set the way the crocheters do one called there was a Harvest Moon giveaway. The crocheters do them too. The big collaborations where everybody draws the semifinalist. They send that name on to the host, and then the host draws for a grand prize winner who gets something from everybody. Who gets the prize from everybody. And I'll probably do that again this year. And I wasn't really sure what day I started that video, but I happened to come across somebody else's video where at the beginning they said August 1st. So I'm probably going to end up picking that date. But I think I'm going to do it probably more like mid-August. Yeah. But if you get too far in your collaborations into Thanksgiving and Christmas, they don't do as well because people are putting out so much money, because this one involves prizes. They're putting out so much money into Christmas and food and gifts.
Yep. Visiting,
I think you should finish your collaborations like before October, because I think that people,
Yeah, there's quite a few of them. Last year I watched them, and I just, some of them I couldn't even follow. There's just too much to, like some clubs had 2 a day, and you have to find time to watch the videos. It's almost like being a TV junkie.
Yeah, and just like Fall Fest 22 giveaway, I'm going to do it again, and I'm going to do it open again. But, there'll be a little bit more rules than last year, because you figure out things that didn't work last year that would work better this year.
Right.
And I had seen people do this for years, these collaborations, and I thought, I'm going to do it. And actually, the reason I finally hit my 2K was that I hosted that collaboration. And because that was my goal, was to hit that 2K by the end of last year. And my goal for this year is by the end of the year on my other channel, I would like to get my other channel monetized. That would be nice to have 2 monetized channels, especially since I'm at home and I don't work outside of the home. Basically, that money would just be my spending money. And if I make money, then I can also do giveaways and stuff like that. Whereas right now, I didn't get paid for this month. And because I haven't been doing lives, I haven't got any super chats. And I mean, my channel, if you take a little break, your channel just goes,
Yeah.
All the little arrows are mad at me right now. They're all doing this right now. I'm like, oh.
Or you get caught doing, YouTube shuts you down for something. There's a channel I watch called Anchor Brand Ranch, and they were gone for like 3 months. And I can only imagine what it was. I kind of know what it was, but I'm not sure. So I don't want to say, but they weren't on for like 3 months, and I can imagine how that affected them because they had a huge subscriber count going.
Yeah. I think if I wanted to do something somebody else was doing on a collaboration, I would just make the video.
Yeah. Well, I did. I don't. I didn't take.
You don't have to necessarily refer to it. Just make the video. Hello, Doris Artman. How are you? Yeah. She hit 500 last year with hers. I'm going to try to make the rules a little bit more stringent for the supporters this year so that hopefully more of the friendships with the channels will stick. But the purpose of it was to help grow some of these smaller channels.
Yeah.
But there was no, you could be 19 subscribers or 5,000 subscribers. You could be any size channel and join. But it did help those little tiny small channels.
Well, and I think with having your channels having 2 different venues helps a lot too. You're not.
Yes. And then, so I am personally part of homesteading genre, gardening genre, crochet genre, paper crafting, traveling, hunting, fishing, outdoors, probably a few more I can't even think of right now, but that's at least 7 that I just named. And in Fall Fest collaboration, I had 2 hunting channels. I had about 10 paper crafting channels. I had another 8 or 20, probably like 20 crochet channels, and then probably 25 homestead. I mean, it was as far as I know, and from what's been told to me, it was the biggest collaboration that was multi-genre.
That's it.
Because it was at least, I think I ended up with 68 or 69 officially joined into it. I almost hit 70, but that's how many different channels joined the collaboration last year.
That's fantastic.
And it all started just from one video.
Yeah.
Where I'm the first video, I just invite people to join, and they're supposed to email me and let me know they're participating.
Yeah.
And but yeah, Dragon's Picks, you should totally enter that. But I thought I would start getting the word out there for you guys that I will be doing that collaboration again. And I've learned a lot since last year, so I think I can improve on it a little bit.
And you called it Fall Fest giveaway?
Fall Fest 22 giveaway, I think, was the hashtag. And if you pull it up, you'll see a ton of different channels. But it was very successful. I did really well, I think.
Well, one of my goals, not me and Jerry together, but one of my goals was to this year on YouTube is to, watch a couple new garden video channels, maybe another quilting one because I do quilting also. And another fiber, which would be knit and crochet, something like that, just to diversify myself out and not stick with the,
Yes. Well, one piece of information I have to give to you guys is you can grow your channel in your genre. However, you can grow your channel quicker if you join other genres, because like you like homesteading, but you also like gardening. There's a ton of gardening channels out there. If you join in that genre too, you can learn about gardening and make new friends and go into that crochet quilting type community, make friends there. There's a ton of people in there, and that will help your channel grow. If you stay to your genre, your number is going to stay pretty the same. And I'm so glad I went into the paper crafting community because there's some awesome people out there too. But there's good and bad people in all genres. But so you just diversify, go out there and meet other people.
Yeah, that's why
none of us do one thing. None of us do only animals. We all do some version. We do animals and cooking and gardening and paper crafting and quilting and crochet and prepping and pantry stuff and shopping, and you could go on and on and on with that.
Yeah.
We all do some of that. So yeah, definitely try to get in there and join some of those. If you look, I don't close my channel. I don't close my channel people. You can go through my channels and you can see everybody I'm subscribed to. I have no reason to be ashamed of that. There's everybody in the world there, and you could go through mine and hello Pepper, the Rusty Pepper, how are you? You could go through my channels at any time, and you could find lots and lots of crochet channels that you can make friends with and join into their community. So you could, I do that. That's how I find channels. I go and look. I look at, as a matter of fact, I did. This week I went at Butler Family Farm. I went through some of their channels that they're friends with, and I made friends with their friends. And that's how our community grows.
Exactly.
I did that just this week with Butler Family Farm because I figured I was not subscribed to her before the email, but then I was, and then after that I got to know some of her friends. So yeah, can I give my buddy a shout out? Sure. What channel? Can you send me a link? Send me a link, Justin, on that, and or do you put the channel name in the chat, and I'll have somebody put that link up for you. Yeah. Ariel will look for you. If you put that channel name, she will pull up the link for you if you'll put the channel name there. Let's see. I was trying to listen. He said, can you give my buddy a shout out? I'm like, okay. Sure, why not? You asked nicely. Let's see what else we have. Which one of your animals on your farm is your favorite?
I'd have to say, can I have more than one? I have to say the bottle calves, because they're born, there's a problem, we bring them back to the nursery, and we go out, my son and I go out and give them a bottle 3 times a day for several weeks. We have to go in and pet them and, talk to them, and they know our voices. And then we get to the point where we do it twice a day. Anyway, I think they're like 8-10 weeks old when we move them out to a paddock where they have to learn how to be calves. But when we go in to feed them, they're right there. And last year, a little girl came to us that was born in the snow, and the farmer didn't even know she was there. He almost ran over her with the tractor when he's taking hay out. But he brought her to Jerry, and she had frostbite on her nose and on her ears, and so her little ears are short. And I name all the girl calves, whether they stay or not. And I've gone through the alphabet. So that's Trudy. And she still comes up today, to this day, when I go out with a bucket of food, and she just, nudges me and, moves around. So the last fall, Lee and I did a little girl named Velvet. We couldn't figure out who her mother was. We couldn't leave her out there in the herd because the cows were, pushing her away. So we brought her home and fed her. And then a friend of ours had problems with a little boy that he didn't want to bottle feed. He called us out. He says, you want to, take him on. So we brought little Jerry over, and he's going to be our bull in a few years. So I have three because they still come up and recognize our voices and talk to us and, want to be scratched on the head. And I do scratches on the back end. So I've got 3 right now. It's the calves, because you have to bottle feed them.
The calves, yeah. You probably get attached to them when you're bottle feeding them.
You do. And then, like right now, Trudy, she'll be 2 years old next month in February. So she'll go out to the herd in another, next year or sometime this year, maybe. I don't know. But she won't ever get sold. She'll always be, because she's just that special. I mean, we could have lost her, and we didn't. And so, she's a favorite.
Welcome in, Dahlia from Mandalay Cards and More. That's one of my paper crafting buddies.
I was going to say that's a paper person.
Yeah, it's a paper person. Yep. See, you see, I have a pretty good variety.
Ah.
Pretty good variety of friends. Let's see what else I have on. What's the difference between farmstead and homestead? Because I heard you correct yourself in your video from saying homestead and farm, and you said farmstead. So
I think they're both.
Says the difference.
Well, I think they could be both the same. I just said farmstead because farm is in our name, Butler Family Farm. I think it's the same. It's just me making up a new word.
Yeah, I was just curious.
Yeah.
I heard you say that in the video, and I thought, well, maybe she knows what the difference is.
No,
Okay, go ahead.
I don't think there's any difference at all. It's just me.
Okay. I sometimes I watch the videos, and since I'm going to interview that person, I'm like, well, might as well ask whatever my question is. Because,
Absolutely.
do you guys do hunting or fishing?
Jerry's a hunter. He has, in fact, we have a deer herd on our property. We catch them on game cameras, and we take care of we've had a coyote or two out there also that we've moved to other places so that the herd can come, back. We've got quite a few bucks out there. We haven't really done a lot of fishing. We started to do it some last year because there's quite a few creeks around, but Jerry used to do a lot more when we were in San Diego because that was his outlet to get away from the city, get away from the job. Whereas, being here, we have a lot of stuff, other things going on. So, but yeah, he hunts off the property and fishing hopefully this year, because that's a big thing we miss in San Diego is that the fish out here you have to buy from the grocery store. You can't go out into the lakes and get your own trout and all that kind of stuff here like you could in San Diego. It's more prevalent in San Diego, and we miss that fish. So we'll probably do some more of that this year.
We did some fishing last year, but we didn't really have a good fishing year this past summer is when we usually do it. I don't know why. I don't know if we did get to use father-in-law's boat a couple of years ago, and we could get further out. Yeah. But it seems like they're off the pier where I like to fish. We haven't really been having any luck. And I hate fishing off the side because where ours is, you get stuck in these bushes, and that drives me crazy. You just getting stuck. Yeah. That's why I prefer the pier. There's no bush, nothing to get stuck on, right?
And you can set a chair on it.
Yeah, but I like things to be easier. I don't want to have to work I want to relax when I'm fishing. I don't want to work to get that out of the bushes every 5 minutes.
I hear you on that.
That doesn't sound like fun at all. But I don't know what else I plan for this channel this year. Like I said, I'll do Fall Fest again. I'll do Bless Your Garden. I'll probably go ahead and do the Weird Container Growing Challenge this year. On that one, I did it for 2 years now. This will be my third year. It's basically growing in something that isn't a bucket or a tote or a cloth bag. It's like a bathtub or a toilet, a pot, a chair, something unusual, a boat, a big, I don't know, just something unusual. And a boot, I've had 2 people grow in a boot. So every year people come up with these crazy, unusual things that they grow in. And the purpose I originally started it for is just to remind people that if you don't have money, you can use things you have around the house. And as long as you've drilled holes in the bottom so the water can get out and not stuck in there, it can be anything can be something you grow in pretty much.
Our mantra is recycle, repurpose, reuse.
Right. Hello, Odom's Homestead. How are you? So that's basically what I have going on, my 3 collaborations this year. And probably at some point I'll pick up. Yes, Pepper, I will pray for you. I'll probably pick up some other kind of a cooking collaboration this year. I'll try to think of something. But I decided I'm not doing any kind of collaborations in November or December. It just seems like people are so busy they don't have time to join them. So
There was quite a
I'm
few.
doing other people's. I just won't be doing any of my own, basically.
Right. There was quite a few there in December, and there was like, I don't know, 4 or 5 of them. I'm thinking, holy moly,
I know.
I can't watch all of those. So
Even though I think if you got some kind of a cookie collaboration or something something easy like that, I think it's I don't know. I kind of hate the collaborations where you have to post on a specific day. I do those. I do those, and I try if I can. I try to get the video ready where it can just go up on that day.
yes,
But like I know I hope that I don't miss dates because I know I have a wacky food challenge coming up, and I know I have a Valentine tree one that's coming up and another Valentine one on the other channel. So I need to write those dates down in here. I don't ever want to like forget.
right.
I'm just so worried I'm going to forget something.
Yeah.
Or what happens if you get sick, or something. So
Yeah.
I like to try to do them early.
That happened on the January. They were doing, I think there was 2. Oh, they had 16 collaborators, and they were going to do 2 videos for the month of January. And one channel had a personal matter come up to where she was actually gone. She's been gone for like 4 or 5 weeks. So she had to, at least that certain day she had to fill in. And so you have to have some backup people too. But you know when something's going to come up that you just can't keep that commitment.
I know. Yeah. That's the only thing that stresses me. That's why I like to try to do some that are like, like the weird container growing. You kind of have all the way from May to August to put your video out. Whenever you're putting it in, or you could even start it in April. I'm going to kind of do a poll to see when the most common planting times are. So if you guys see that poll, go on there and say about when your planting times are, because I want to try to decide when to put the gardening collaborations out.
Is that an open collab?
Yeah, mine are, like I said, I always do mine open collab.
Open.
Yeah. I like for little channels to be able to participate if they want to. That's me.
I'll keep my eyes open.
Yeah, I will have those coming up. But yeah, and I like to just occasionally I'll just pull out some kind of cooking challenge. I even did the 5 truths and 5 myths. Sometimes I'll even pull out ones like that where you don't even really have to do anything. You just talk about stuff. So, and that one's still out. If anybody wants to do 5 truths, 5 myths, I have 2 videos. Be sure you watch the one that's a week ago first, and then the second one, because you don't want to watch the answers before you don't want to watch the answers first, because then that you want to see what my 5 truths and myths are, and then you separate true or false, and then you listen to my answers, because I put out my answer video. But I have about 18 channels that have joined that already, and I have to check the hashtag again this morning.
That's great.
See how many people joined that. And that one wasn't really, you don't do anything. You just say 5 things that are true and 5 things that are false, and you mix them up, and then people have to guess what they think is true or false. So just little collaborations like that. Some people like to do those, some people don't, because they don't have to make anything, they don't have to do anything. And people like to get to know things about your channel.
Because you get to know them.
Yeah, you get to know. So you wouldn't have known that I got mugged when I was 17, that I worked as a bankruptcy clerk, or that I was a stalker at a grocery store. And stalker at a grocery store and bankruptcy clerk are 2 completely different kinds of jobs. But that's me. I'm very versatile, and I've been a receptionist. I've done it all. I've been a paraprofessional for the special needs children. I wanted to try everything to see what I liked.
Mhm.
So
Are you still? I saw a video. You one of your videos. You were got a volunteer job. Do you still have that?
I am not doing that anymore.
Okay.
I was doing it to help the homeless people, but that company was not. That was like a very small portion of what they do.
Mm.
And there's a particular reason why I wanted to help the homeless people. It's a story some people know, some people don't know. But my mom and I decided we would start doing up our own bags and handing them out in her town because she's in a bigger town and there's more there.
Right.
So I have a video coming out on my channel this week showing I didn't interview me talking to the homeless man, but I am gonna talk about what we talked about in the video. I'm gonna add that to the video I started, and then at the end of the video you'll see a picture of the guy. But we actually we helped 12 people that day. We helped 12 people. I did 3 for male and 3 for female, and my mom did 3 for male and 3 for female. We handed out all of those bags. And right after that happened, I had, I went and purchased some more items to start. And I told my mom, it might be a month or two. I'll let you know when I get all my stuff together. So I started buying the shampoos and things I need. Well, we do toiletries, we do snacks. I like to put some kind of notepad and pen in there for them. I like to put something for entertainment, like a puzzle book or playing cards. One of them I did a backpack, so I was doing a little bit more in that one. I put a coloring book, map colors, and a sharpener because I'm figuring that they have a lot of time, and we try to always put something in there like a light, like a flashlight, tea lights, or one of those little push button with the you put the batteries in it for them. And I did that. And so we've been working on getting those. And so I prefer that because I get to see the people that I'm giving them to. And that's where, and there's a particular reason why, but anyway, I like to see the people that I'm talking to.
Right.
And that was nice that I got to pick. Like the backpack, I had stuffed more than the other bags that I had handed out. And so I got to pick particularly the person I wanted to hand it to. And there was a lady sitting in front of a donut shop, and she had an old ragged coat on. She had her backpack. I was driving down the street and I saw her. But I asked God before I left, I said, God, put in our path who you want us to help. And so we drove up, and I asked my mom to stay in the car, and I gave it to her, and her coat was ragged. She had a dog with her, and she had a backpack on. And we knew because of the backpack, the dog, and the coat, we knew that she was homeless. We've kind of learned how to pick up the signs. Right. And I might end up making a video telling my story about why I decided to start doing a homeless journey. I might do a video on that later. It took time to heal from what happened, and then now I have to kind of get my nerve up to make the video about it. But it would be nice to share the story about that, because I think I could maybe some people might want to donate, and then we could get, instead of doing it once every couple of months, maybe we could do it once a month. Yeah. If we had other people, because it's a lot of stuff. You got to add the toothbrush and toothpaste, and all that. And then we kind of do male and female, like we'll put feminine hygiene products in the women's, and like shaving cream in the guys. And we had bought some things after Christmas that had men's body spray. Gift sets, and they had the body spray, and we took them out where you could give one to each one of those. So they we watched a lot of videos, so we kind of have an idea of what they want. And I also talked to him, and that'll be in I think it might be tomorrow's video. I talked to him about what would be good things that people would need. Yeah. So, and that's helpful too, to hear it from an actual person that's going through it right now. So
yeah, true reality.
And there might be a lot of people that come at me with, and and this is probably my biggest fear. A lot of them are going to come out with me with a lot of those people are on drugs. And I think that we think that, and I think there's a lot less than you think that are on drugs. And a lot of them are mentally ill. They were kicked out by their parents or their girlfriend or the friend. They lost their job. There's even elderly. There's tons of elderly out there.
There's a lot of reasons people
Teenagers, people that have lost their confidence, lost their zest in life. Once you get to a certain amount of not bathing, you can't just go get a job. You can tell them to go get a job, but if their hair's not clean,
right,
and they don't look clean and their clothes aren't clean and they don't look neat, nobody's going to hire them. Come on.
Right.
Be serious right here. And that lady standing there with the sign that you're judging, that lady is somebody's daughter, somebody's mom, somebody's child, somebody's friend. That person was loved by somebody. And even if they're not loved by anybody, they're still loved by God and made by God, in my opinion. So, and
you're doing a good thing. You're doing a good thing.
Thank you. So this is really the first time I've talked about it. So you made me feel comfortable enough to talk about it. And there will be more information coming out. And be looking for the heart-wrenching video of the story behind why we started the homeless ministry. And there'll be a story coming out about that pretty soon. Be looking for that, because I think other people might want to help, especially if they heard the story behind it. They'd be like, whoa. But yeah. And there are probably some autistic people out there too. And some people that have some other kind of mental
illness is a big thing right now.
I think mental illness is number one. I would say mental illness, and lost their job and got kicked out of somewhere.
Yeah. No, I agree with that.
Yeah,
there's a lot of things, and people do things that maybe they might not have done if they had, their mental faculties all,
Yeah.
And homelessness can do a big number on them as well, even if they don't have mental illness. It's just a prevalent thing. We in San Diego, where we're from, you could drive off an exit off the freeway. Every single exit almost had somebody that needed help of some kind. They had their signs and whatever. And there are parts of downtown that you wouldn't even drive down because the shelters were full. They were sleeping on the streets, and it was very sad. And
have you ever seen that movie Curly Sue?
No.
It's an old 80s movie. In that movie, the man takes his daughter to a shelter, and while she's sleeping, a man steals her ring that her mother had left her, which is probably the only thing of value. And even if it was only worth $20, to her it was the last thing from her mother. And so, I'm just crying. And I watched that movie, recently. I actually named my cat Curly Sue, just because I thought that was a cute movie. And when I very first named her that, people tried to call her Curly or call her Sue. And so my way to stop my family from doing that is I would say, Curly Sue, no space. Curly Sue, no space. Because there's no space. It's not Curly and Sue. It's Curly Sue together. One word, Curly Sue.
That's the way to do it.
So finally, they all stopped calling her Curly or Sue. I said, no, it's meant to go together. But I think that is true. Autistic people do have a hard time with jobs because they feel like they have to act a certain way and stuff. Yeah, so there's probably a lot of autistic people out there. Yeah. I wish I had got the interview with that man because he was very interesting. And I actually felt very comfortable to stand there and talk to him. And I want to say I probably talked to him for about 20 or 30 minutes.
Wow.
Yeah. So I got to hear some real stuff.
Some real stuff.
Yeah, we all think it's drugs, but I think it's maybe 25% drugs and 75% other stuff.
I tend to agree with that, and alcohol plays a large thing too. But so alcohol and drugs, 25%, yeah.
now I didn't used to be this way, but now I am. If I don't have something with me to give them, I will hand them like $10, and I figure with $10 they can buy dinner. Well, fast food's so expensive now, they can buy one dinner, or they can go to Walmart and eat off of it for a little bit longer.
Yeah.
You know, if they plan it out and buy bread and all that stuff. But yeah, I know. I'm right there with you, Nisi. You see me. I'm at home, and I dealt with some. In 2 weeks on this channel, we will be talking with Simply Jan Homestead about cyberbullying. And I know this is a kind of a hot button subject, but if you notice the channels that have the X on their logo now, that is to represent cyberbullying, because cyberbullying is going on. Particular channel going around getting people's personal names and showing up their house, and then after you block them on that one channel, they make other channels to harass you by. So probably we'll have, and I was going to ask you, Nisi, if you could moderate on that particular live, because that person may make another channel and try to come in and cause trouble. So I want to have three active moderators on that day, just to make sure we don't have any problems. But I think it is a good subject we need to talk about. So
it's out there, so it needs to be covered. And those like me, I don't think we've had any problems like that, but that's not to say it's not going to come up. And so if we are educated on it, then we're prepared.
Yeah. And my sister-in-law is autistic as well. And we have a couple of autistic people in our chat. So I definitely think that this particular guy, I'm not sure how he ended up homeless, but he's been homeless now so long that that's just his way of life. And this particular guy was dragging a wagon that had bags, and he had tarp. What do you call it? The bungee cord things on it to hold his stuff down
together.
And then he had a dog with a leash. So he had a dog, he had a wagon. Yes. Yeah. And Nisi, sometime when you have time, if you'll call me, we'll chit chat about some of that. But anyway, hello, Red Scout. How are you? But yeah, my sister-in-law, Nisi, had some cyberbullying too there for a while. Hers was pretty bad, so she definitely understands that subject. But I enjoyed our interview today. This is nice. I have to have you come out and come over and chit-chat another time, and come by and talk about some stuff. And if I try to do one of these collaborations, I'm going to try to remember to tag you on it so you can get in on it and join in on something that
I'm subscribed to your channel, so I'll be able to,
get the notifications on stuff.
Yeah.
Other than the 5 truths and 5 myths, I don't have any current collaborations going on, and that's pretty much it for right now. But I'm kind of spur of the moment. One day I'll just wake up and say, oh, today I'm going to do a cookie collaboration, and I'll make a video, and there it is.
There it is.
It's me. That's what I do. So we'll see what happens. But I try to plan things out. I do want to plan because, like Fall Fest 22 giveaway, it takes a little bit of planning because you want to get your video out. You want to get your video out 2 weeks before everybody else starts putting their video out to announce that you're going to do it. And then on but I usually give them a full 5 days to get their video out, like a Monday through Friday kind of thing. And that way anybody who wants to participate, they email first, then they make their video on that day. And then have 5 days. That way if they're sick or out of town, they can do it the next day or the next day or the next day.
Right. They don't miss out. They don't miss out.
Yeah. So I like to give them 5 days to participate. And at the very end of the interview, I always ask if you have a question for me.
Well, you answered one already because I'm always interested in if people are native to the state that they're in or if they came from someplace. And you said earlier that
I
you.
did live in Rhode Island for 5 years,
Oh, okay.
and I did live in Oklahoma for 5 years. So I moved away for about 10 or 11 years, moved back to Texas. And so I've lived all but 11 years of my life here
Yeah. That's
in
cool.
Texas. So, yeah, I'm definitely native Texan. They did say when I lived in Rhode Island, people thought I still had a full Texas accent, but people in Texas said I started to have a little bit of their accent.
Yeah.
And I never heard it, but I guess maybe
A word or two.
there was just a few words I was saying, or I was starting to cut off my words. Hello, Mona, how are you? Sifty some soil. I would like to have you on as a guest. If you're interested, send me an email to gailsouthernliving@yahoo.com and we'll set it up. We could talk about gardening or cooking, whatever you like to do. So I think you would be a good, interesting guest. I know I've had her up on the panel before, and I know she does her chats kind of late, but she's in here. So we know she's around at this time. So
Not bed yet.
yeah, I think she would. Yeah, yeah, I know they were up late. I kind of went into their live and kind of hung out with them for a few hours last night, which I don't normally do. My husband's been sick, so I've had to entertain myself, and I don't want to watch the shows on Netflix we normally watch together.
Yes.
So then I find other ways to entertain myself.
Yeah.
And so I've been working on kind of like this journal thing. And so I worked on that for a little while. I got tired of that because I'm adult ADD, and I moved on to something else. And I saw her on, and I just listened to them, and they were cutting up and making jokes. So I listened to them for a while, and then I finally went to bed. And here I am, bright-eyed and bushy-tailed.
Bushy-tailed, all perky.
And Garden State Gardener is not going to go live today. I think he's Ubering. I watched a video today where he referred to that. As far as I know, Garden State Gardener is not doing his Sunday Fun Day this week.
Okay.
I know he just had Joey's birthday and they had family up, so maybe that has to do with it too. So, yeah. And I'm not even sure if I'm supposed to use the word cyberbullying because I made some video at one point that had the word bully in it, and it seemed like they were. We'll see what happens. But if they don't monetize the video because I'm talking about cyberbullying, that's okay with me because I think it's an important subject to talk to anyway.
Well, shame on them for not recognizing that it's going on, and
Yeah.
that and help us, protect ourselves and whatever. So, shame on them if they do.
Yes, that's me. Yep. Tons of unfinished products. That's me. I do craft challenges. I currently have all my craft challenges out. Hello, Hendrickson Family Farm. How are you? We talked briefly about Last Chance Cook-Off earlier. I was in that too this year. And we talked about collaborations and things like that earlier. So
yeah.
That's cool. And she told me how she kind of met all you guys too. That was a good, interesting story. That totally sounds like something I would do. But usually, well, I think there's been 2 or 3 times that somebody has made a recipe that I liked, and I texted or I email that person and I say, is it okay if I do this recipe, your recipe? And they're like, okay. And I said, and I'll put your name in the description box. And if I decide to do somebody's recipe, I always email and ask them if it's okay with them first. And then I link their video in the description.
Yeah. On the enchilada one, I just showed the end, like a little short, the end. And I mentioned where I got the information from. I didn't know making it. Yeah, but it was just
tons of recipes that I look up on YouTube, and I'll make, and I'm not too worried about the really huge channels because they don't know I exist. But channels like us, together, we try to be we try to be considerate of each other. And I did watch somebody's video that I really liked, and I do want to do her recipe, this channel, and I saved it. So before I do it, though, I'm going to write down the recipe. Before I do it, though, I'm going to ask her if it's okay.
Yeah.
Because it looked like a video I would really like to do. And I've kind of already, it's been 2 years. I've done all of my normal recipes. Okay, how many recipes do I have? So now I've gotten to the point I have to find recipes to present.
Ah.
I can't see your email. Could you please send it?
It's going across on mine.
Okay, I could type it. You mean type it? I could type it for you, Pepper. I think you're on my phone too. And I had to get a new phone, and I lost some of my contacts, Pepper. So if you do send me an email, just say your name in the text so I know. Because if I don't have you programmed yet, I'll have to ask you, who is this? Because I won't know.
I do that all the time.
But I didn't get all the contacts out of my last phone, so not on purpose. Just it happened, and I had to do that just last week. Somebody texted me, and I was like, Lisa, ? And it was Lisa. But yeah, bullies are really tormented, unhappy people, and they hate people who are happy. They live a sad existence to be so tormented and be stalking rather than purpose happy themselves. Yes. Well, I try to, even in my grief state, I try to help other people. I've always put out on YouTube that you can ask me anything you want. You can email me. You can ask me to share anything you want. I don't ever get upset or annoyed by anyone asking me to share anything. I have no problem with that. Now, I may not see it right away, but anytime anybody asks me, I'm fine with that. That's cool. And I asked people to share today, and hopefully they didn't get annoyed by me because I had not been doing lives, and so I didn't think there would be a lot of people here. So I asked a few people to share, not for me, but for Susan. So Susan, there would be some people. I didn't want Susan to come in and there'd be 5 people and to go, man, I came in, there's nobody here.
I would have enjoyed 5 people, but do you mind if we share that live that you're going to do with Jan on the
bullying live? Yeah,
on our community pages and such, so that
yes, that's fine.
Okay.
That's fine.
We'll do that.
Yeah, and I have next week's live set up with Jen from Sassy Southern NC Girl Paper Crafting Channel, and then the very next week on the 12th, that'll be the one. Have you ever been harassed? I forget exactly how I titled it, but I also put Simply Jan Homestead in there, and so that's the one. And I just found an emoji where a girl looked angry, and I thought, okay, that's perfect. I was just trying to find. I was like, well, what do you put for cyberbullying? So I put into Pixabay mad people, and it came up that girl with a crazy, and that's the best I could do. But that's what I came up with.
Well, it gets the point across.
Yeah, and that's what you are. You're mad. Yes. And then that could represent the person who's getting bullied, probably. Or even maybe the person. That person, like Joy said, is probably going through something themselves. They're unhappy, so they're making others unhappy. And I will not put up with bullying. So if that person that has been doing the bullying in the homesteading community starts to come after me, you're coming after the wrong person.
Good for you.
And
you have to take a stand.
Yeah. So I'm not worried about that, though. They wouldn't be the first time I've ever had anybody come at me. So if I see weird comments pop up around this from this time through that, when that's passed, I'll know it's that person doing it. So that's fine. I made the decision to put it out there, even though it might not make me a popular person. And that's okay with me. I can handle it.
I think it'll make you very popular for bringing it up and putting it out there in the open so that it can be discussed and we can hear what others have been going through and how they handled it. And,
I might talk about what happened to me with my paper crafting channel as well. While we're talking about that, I might even talk about my Instagram problem. If Nisi is willing to come up and talk about her problem, she's welcome to do that as well. If she is still in the chat and wants to talk about it, she could pop up and talk about that for a little bit if she wants to. So I think there's a lot of people. There's a lot of people.
Yeah. No, I think so too.
I think there's more. And there's some like me that didn't always talk about their problems. I've talked to some. I didn't talk about the paper crafting one at all, but I talked about the Instagram one for a while. I did talk about that a little bit. But,
I think you have to have dealt with it in a sense within yourself mentally and, whatever, to be able to discuss it, and not get emotional, but not too emotional. Like at the very beginning, it's a very emotional thing, and it would be very difficult for me to talk about something like that. But as time went on and I got it all straight in my head and wrapped around, and the ins and outs, the good and the bad, then I can talk about it. So probably the point.
I had bullying at a job before too, and might even bring that up too, because I wish I could say I was completely healed. And there was literally 5 people at the school I worked at that were bullying me. But the one that hurt the most was the girl that I went to church with, who bullied me. We had just went to all our education classes together for being paraprofessionals. We had just got through hanging out all summer. She goes into the school year and picks the other people over me. And we went to church together. We did all those classes together, and she picks them over me. So it was really hurtful.
Very hurtful, yes.
And she's in my town. So, and it's a small town.
And so you probably run into her every once in a while.
I do. And every single time I'm not wearing makeup and I look like a ragamuffin. So that just makes me more mad. I'm like, I can't run into her, when my hair's down, I have my makeup on, I have a cute outfit on, I look cute, I look good. No, I have to run into her with my sweatpants and my t-shirt and my hair, no makeup, and every time. Sorry.
Oh, shoot.
But it's taken a long time to get over. And I've thought about actually finding a way to get a hold of her and ask her if she wants to have lunch. Because I feel like maybe if I talk to her and tell her how I feel, and this is literally probably 2 or 3 years later, maybe it would help me to get over it. I could tell her, yes, there were 5 people bullying me, but you hurt me the worst because you were my friend. And the people literally would talk about me right there while I was in the room with them.
Oh,
that was bad.
That's
People say it's better if people talk about you in front of your face. No, it's not. No, it's not. I'd rather not hear all that. How do you feel about me? If you don't like me, just go hang out somewhere else. Don't talk about me in front of me. It's really uncomfortable. How do you handle that? How is that not harassment when my boss and 2 other employees, all 3 people are in the room talking about me in front of me?
It sounds like a huge HR violation to me, but
I know. And then God said, you're not going to leave this job on your own. So I'm going to take you right on out of it. So one day I was at work, and they put me in the room with the girl who was sporadic, and she decided to give me this swinging neck hug where she pulled on my neck like that and messed up my neck, and I never went back to work after that. And they had to pay me the rest of the school year. And so hopefully they got put on the assignments they didn't want to do. Hopefully they got put on all those assignments because I left. So there you go. That's all I could say. There you go. So anyway, it's so funny how angry we get. We're just like, but mainly it's about hurt, because it was a lot of hurt. I would come home crying from work. It was bad. But God said, I'm going to take you out of that. And he took me out of it. I got a little neck pain because of it, I guess. But But now I'm at home, and then once I got here, I started doing my Bible studies more and focusing on other things. And I think that's where God wanted me to be. He knew where I would go after I left. And so
he has a chapter for, he has a book on each one of us, and there's a new chapter every so often that, there's a change in our lives, and that's the start of a new chapter in the book that he's got written for us. So that's
right.
what happened with you. New chapter.
New chapter. For sure, for sure. Well, it's been nice talking to you. There's 18 people here. I can't believe it. You know what I might do is put up the link and let people come up and chat now that we've finished our interview.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
You could stay up, or you can go out and go on to your next thing, because I use, whatever you want to do.
I'll probably go get started on my chili smackdown, because that's what's for dinner tonight. So
that sounds good.
So I think
sounds good.
It's 21 degrees outside with the wind chill. So yeah, it sounds really good. So thank you, Gail, so much. I enjoyed this, and I'll be watching for your open collabs.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye. I'm not sure.
You need me to kick you from the studio? Oops, there we go. Okay. There it is. Okay, so we finished that interview. And, I never run. I walk. They're running for the hills. Huh. Eagle Trekker. Don't mess with Gail. Yeah, Gail's tough. If you, it don't matter about that. Only God is sovereign. If my head comes off, I still trust God. Yes. Yes. No, I didn't. I never did file any kind of harassment. I went into the principal's office and talked about stuff, but the principal did nothing. The principal actually was one of my 5 harassers. She was one of the 5 people that were harassing me. From Russia with love. Oh, hi from Russia. Hi, Russia. Thank you. Thank you. What's up?
Nothing much. I thought you wouldn't mind if I came up for a while.
No. How are you doing?
I'm trying to do my best. I'm blessed beyond measure. I have a very hard time seeing because cataracts. Thanks a lot.
You had cataracts?
Yes. I have a huge one in my left eye, and my right eye is almost halfway covered. So I'm doing the best I can.
Are you back in Texas, or are you still in Florida?
I'm still in Florida. I have taken up residence in Florida. My brother lives here.
Yeah, you're still with your brother, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's good. Do you like it there?
Actually, I do. Right now, what I don't like is it got cold.
In Florida, I'm shocked.
Don't be. We had 30 in temperatures. We had some below freezing temperatures.
I didn't know that, Ariel. Ariel, I need to have you up for an interview. Send me an email or an Instagram post or something. But I had, when I got my new phone, I had to change from one Instagram to the other one. So I don't know which one you're on, Ariel, if you're on the one I'm still on or on the one I used to be on. Are you blessed? Are you too blessed to be stressed? Too blessed to be stressed. Hey, that's a good one.
Amen, yeah.
Too blessed to be stressed. And I did put the link out if anybody else wants to come up too. Thank you, Nisi. Thank you. Thank you. My first one in a while. And I appreciate all of you guys who shared it so that we could get some people in here. I didn't want Susan to come in here and there'd be like 5 people. It's like, oh, goodness. But she was my first one. So I don't always ask people to share and help me, but I did today because I just want to make sure somebody would be in here listening to the interview.
Yeah,
Thank you, Leila.
there's a lot of people on the street who are there, not of their choice.
Yeah,
They're
agreed.
they're just unable. They go to they may have the money because they got the checks coming in,
Mhm.
because they're retired. But the people look at them and they think they can't pay the rent, and it's not fair.
Yes.
But okay, I said enough of that because I had that problem.
You've
So,
been homeless?
oh yes, I have.
I've never been homeless. I cannot say that I have. I did get in a few situations where the person I was living with did not pay the rent.
Oh
And
yeah.
then I would have to hurry up and move out and figure out what to do. But I've always been able to figure out what to do. I stayed with my brother. I've stayed with my sisters. Um, I've always managed to find a way. There was even a relationship where I left where I set up to move in with a roommate. And it was actually a guy. It was a guy roommate, but he was okay. He was all right. I did leave the door locked in my room, and I did spend a lot of time in my room. But I had to get out of my living situation. And at the time, that was the best I could do. I rented a room in this house. And it's so funny. What happened was at some point, I was so diligent with paying my rent that eventually that lady asked me if I would rent the house instead of him. And I was like, wow. And I was going to do that, but I was about to move somewhere else. And then, so I didn't, but I could have. So that's cool that she saw me as the kind of person that was trustworthy enough to do that. So anyway.
Yeah. It's hard to be out there, because
what age were you when you ended up homeless? Were you like a kid?
I was in the foster homes. Might as well been homeless, because half the time they wouldn't let me in the house unless I was ready to do their bidding, if you know what I mean.
Hi, Leanne. How are you?
I was also on the street as an adult, and I had come home from the hospital after a problem. I had been beaten and couldn't go home to my own home. So I was stuck. But I made it.
You're here, huh?
I'm here. I now have my own house that I rent.
So are you not living in your brother's house anymore? You're living in a different house by yourself?
Yes. Me and Lady Victoria.
Your new dog?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
She is, where did she go? Oh, she must have gone back to the bedroom. She was laying here halfway under me. But
it's the agree. It's the judgment. The judgment of others is the sin.
yeah.
But the lady standing on the corner with the sign, I actually handed her a bag and she took it gladly and said thank you. So, and it had toiletries and food and different stuff in it. But anyway, we just gave out 12 bags. So next time we'll probably do at least 12. I think we're going to do another 12 But we decided when it's a really big group, like there was this community center thing, the homeless shelter thing, and there was like 20 people there. We decided what we would do is make up some smaller versions, like the Ziploc bag that maybe just has a bunch of like food, like snacky foods. So.
I can't read the chat.
You can't read the chat?
No. I'm having a hard time seeing anything at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I bet you are. You're down to one eye, and that eye isn't even seeing it perfect at your perfect. So that's not good.
Yeah. This one gets operated on Wednesday. Yay. I hope everything comes out okay.
Yeah, I'll say prayers for your surgery. Definitely. I'll put that on my list.
He said he was going to do the worst one first so that I can finally see.
Yeah. And yeah, that makes sense. That makes perfect sense. Definitely. So
yeah. I've been using it's a little magnifier that is programmed on my computer. It's difficult to use, and if you can't hardly see anyway, put it away. You're not going to see it.
Yeah.
But can I say hello to Nisi and Joy Blessed Life?
Yeah, sure.
Hello, ladies. I wish you all would nicely come up here so I can maybe see. Well, I can make it large enough. I can put it in full screen and see them.
Nisi's been working. She went to work as a para, which is what I used to do. She's doing that now.
What's Joy doing?
Joy is vlogging Tennessee. I got to meet Joy in last summer. She was we went to go visit Tennessee, and we got to meet Joy and her husband.
I wish she would. I'm in Lake City.
Justin, can you show your face for a minute so I can see who you are? Okay. Okay.
Oh, huh?
Justin is his first name. Justin.
Hey,
Dragon Spix.
I'm Justin.
Can I see you, please?
Give me a second.
I told him to show me his face so I would make sure he wasn't a creeper. Oh, and I don't know if you were around, Pepper, but somebody was in my backstage, and nobody else could see, but they decided to show me something I didn't want to see.
Ah.
And I
gross.
yeah. And so that's why when people come up, I have to, I have at least see, even if they want to leave their logo up, that's fine. I just have to see their face because I don't know. I have to know who you are to make sure, because we're just talking about cyberbullying, and me digging into the subject might make that person start coming after me. So I got to be a little safe right now.
Well, that's why I told you, tell them about Jesus when they do come after you.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, I think in my case, they're going to have a little harder name because they're going to have a harder time because they don't actually know my name.
Right.
Because even when I send out friend mail, it has Gail Southern Living on it. You don't know my last name. You don't even know if Gail is my name.
Right.
So there's that.
Does he? No.
A lot of people on YouTube, you think their name is one thing, but it's something else. Wow. So I don't send out anything with my last name on it. So good luck looking me up.
Right.
Anybody who knows me personally knows what my true name is.
Yes, I do know what your name is.
And
Do I look a little bit different since the last time I was here?
Your hair spiked, and you have a goatee,
No,
mustache,
still a full beard.
full on beard.
Just trimmed a little bit. It was down to here.
Yeah, it's longer. It's your facial hair is longer than it was. Yeah, yeah. You were kind of like baby face, I think, last time.
I don't think I was baby faced. I had a pretty long.
You had just a little bit of hair. You didn't have a lot. You have more facial hair. That makes you look, and then you have your hair spiked now, so that makes you look different too.
No,
My
that's
allergies
just me.
are-
That's just hat hair.
Oh, I thought like you had it spiked up.
I
You
don't
know,
really have
like-
enough hair to spike.
Oh, you could spike it. Get you some of that. What's it called? That gel.
Got to be.
Well, there's a lot of different companies. I think I buy for my husband. I just buy that Suave one in the pink bottle, and he uses that to spike his hair. Like he uses it for when we go to church or go out to dinner or something, or have an occasion or something. He'll wear it spiked. But
Sure.
normally he just has hat hair too. But he just told me, I was like, "Oh, you should spike your hair." He's like, "I don't have any gel." Okay, and the very next time I went to the store, here you go. He can't use that excuse now because he has his the gel.
Right. I used to use glue. There was this stuff at Walmart called Got to Be Glued, and then I put that stuff in there, and it's like, whoa, this stuff really sticks.
Yeah,
And,
there's one of them called monkey
and then
something,
after-
monkey blood or monkey.
And
I don't
this
know.
is when
monkey
I was in
something.
high school, and then people are, what did you put in your hair? And you know what's on their mind? It starts with S.
yeah,
Mm.
yep. And
Or C.
there's a gel out there. It's
Something
called
about
Evil
Mary.
Tide.
Have you seen that? Something about Mary. That movie, Something About Mary.
I don't think so.
I think it's a '90s movie. Bye, Nancy.
Something about-
Thank you for coming in.
Yeah, let me take a look at the comments. Why not?
Is Red Scout one of your friends, Justin?
I don't recognize him.
I've seen him before, but I don't remember. I mean, I remember him. He said he's from Russia.
Russia. Okay.
Russia. It was a Russia. He said something about Russia and had the picture of the flag. So, what time is it in Russia right now?
They're
Oh, they got the same thing we got: Central, Eastern, and Western.
yeah. I'm trying to think.
But
Okay,
theirs probably doesn't coincide with ours, does it?
no.
No.
England is 6 hours ahead of us. Okay, and they're about
It's
4
o'clock,
hours.
it's lunchtime there.
Yeah,
It's-
they're about 4 hours ahead of them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
depending on what part of the country you're in.
Yeah,
But if
I'm
he's in
always
Moscow, I think
confused.
it's like 3 hours ahead of England or Europe.
what part?
Moscow.
Russia?
The Moscow is close to Europe.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it's 2 hours.
Yeah.
Ariel knows the movie. You know what scene I'm talking about, Ariel, where she puts the stuff in her hair? She knows what I'm talking about. That scene in the movie. Just you'll have to watch it, then you'll know what I'm talking about. You had to have seen the movie to know what I'm talking about. So
What, hairspray?
no, the word that starts with S that you put in your hair.
Oh,
You said that. That's what made me think of the movie.
yeah. Well, I think I can take it a little bit better today than I did back in high school.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I'm not going to explain. It gets too graphic, but it's funny. It's a funny scene. It's before I let's just say it's before I started going to church. I watched different movies, and this was one of those movies. And yeah, it's graphic, but it's fun. It was funny. It's let's see who's in the movie. Cameron Diaz and who's the girl that was in Married with Children, the teenage daughter?
Oh, Kelly.
Her, and then another brunette girl, and then the funny guy. What's his name? Gary? No.
Al Bundy. That's Ed
not in the
O'Neill.
movie. He's not in the movie, but I can't remember the name of the guy. But yeah, Cameron Diaz and the girl from Married with Children, and then there's another girl she's popular, but I can't ever think of her name.
That blonde lady from Married with Children, the daughter.
Yeah, the daughter. Yeah, Kelly, the daughter. She's in that, but she's older in that. She's
I forget.
After that. Did you know Al Bundy and Kelly dated each other
Say what?
in real life?
Ed O'Neill. That's Al.
Yeah,
Bundy?
Al and Kelly dated each other in real life. The father and daughter dated each other in real life. I found that out later. That's just weird. But a lot of these, what we think are kids on the show are really adults. So
Pretty much.
he was basically just dating a younger woman is all. Hello, Forever Blessed. How are you? But yeah. Jen's seen the movie.
Can you imagine you going into like a Dollar General or a Family Dollar store, and I'm in there and I turn around and I look at you, and
Christina Applegate is her name from Married with Children. Christina Applegate.
and I'm in there, and I turn around and I kind of freak you out because I just got the one eye open.
Yeah. I already knew you had vision problems.
Well, yeah, I've been having that for a while, but now
But you didn't know I lost my sister in October.
No.
My older sister Gretchen passed away in October. She got ran over by a car in Colorado.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Ben
Stiller, that's it.
I
Ben
have
Stiller
been,
is the guy in the movie.
I have been kind of not around the internet very much because I'm having so much trouble viewing what I want to see.
Was it The Sweetest Thing, or was it something about Mary with that scene in it?
The Sweetest Thing. That sounds familiar.
Maybe I'm getting.
I don't think I've watched it.
Maybe I'm getting the two shows mixed up. The Sweetest Thing and something about Mary. Because Cameron Diaz is in both of those movies. I think. It's been a while. I've slept a few times since then. But I've seen both of those movies, so could be either. Something about Mary. Yeah. Leanne says it's something about Mary with that scene.
I'm going to go. I think I kind of hung in there long enough.
Okay.
I need to take care of some dropping things.
For your eye?
Yep.
Okay. Thank you for coming up, Pepper.
I think you're going to have to put me out. I can't see.
Okay, I can do it. I got it.
Take care of yourself.
Gotcha. Bye, Pepper. Oh, sorry. I didn't mean to cut her off. I didn't know she was going to say something. I didn't know she was going to say something else. She'll get me next time on that one. Yeah.
It's what it is.
Oh, there's a mouse hole in Little Man's closet. Oh, no. We've had mice in our house lately, and Curly Sue is the little huntress. She goes around and chases them. And I got a nice, no, not a nice. I got a horrible surprise last weekend when my husband handed me my plastic tote that had my seeds in it, and the mice opened the packages with his mouth, chewed up the paper packages and some of the little plastic seed packages, and ate some of my seeds.
That'd be painful.
Yeah, that was painful. Yeah. So what it was is I had those were last year's seeds I had in the utility room. That's where I put them when I'm not looking through them or whatever. I store them in there. Okay. And then the seeds I got from everybody during the year, like seeds I won and seeds that people sent me in Christmas cards or different things, all of those were inside. So those seeds are okay. And I salvaged a few out of there. But then I had to like scald my hands because like, ew, it's been in here crawling. And then I salvaged what I could out of there and threw all of that. And then I washed the container out real good. But now I have them in the china cabinet behind glass. So that's where I have them protected now. And then after the season's over, they'll just be messing with the house until winter. I mean, we have traps set right now and we have cats. So we should be good with that for a while. But next year I'm going to get one of those gallon size mason jars and store them in there. So they won't be able to get in there. So I just have
that'd
to.
be quick to clear that way.
Yeah. I'll probably just need like more than one of that.
They're not that expensive. You get a pack of them. You can still can some food if you're only using 2.
Yeah.
If you're into that.
I do a little bit of canning. I do want to try to can pickles next year. I have a pressure canner that I need to really seriously use. I need to use it. Hi, Candace with Looky Lou Crafts. Hubby is trying to close it up, and we need a more permanent fix. He's using the top of the metal jar and nailing it into the wall. I don't think that's going to work. Oh, okay. Yeah. They haven't attacked any like food or anything in the kitchen, so they're not getting up high. But yeah, I think they come in through the utility room. He thinks they come in through the sink. So I think he comes in through the back. They're coming through the back door. Something to do with like.
Well, in all reality, there's no argument. You're never going to be right until you see it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
how are you?
Mice are always full of surprises.
Yeah, they are definitely. It's not been a fun experience lately. I haven't seen it in a while. We have traps. We have 4 traps set up right now, and none of them have been triggered. We set them all with cheese, little pieces of cheese. But I told hubby, I said, you know what? We had better luck with peanut butter. I think we need to go back to peanut butter. So, because one of them got out of the trap.
A stronger scent than cheese. And mice's senses are far greater than a human's. So you'd be able to attract mice from much further away if you're using peanut butter rather than cheese.
It's a good, yeah. We did use that before, but this time I had bought cheese, and sure enough, the peanut butter was a better option. And peanut butter we have here more than we do blocks of cheese. I literally bought the block of cheese so we could use it for that. And sure enough, the peanut butter that we always have here is what they like better. So, and like you say, now you're talking about the scent. That makes a lot of sense that they could smell it further.
Yep.
Still wool, yeah. Mice like peanut butter, yes. I've also considered putting and I really don't want to do this because I hate the smell of it, but I actually consider putting the mothballs in my utility room because they don't like the smell of that either. Yeah. But that's sneaky. I don't know if I could stand it. I don't think I could stand the smell.
I've heard one trick. If you put some mothballs into a tube sock or something like that and tie a knot, and then just put your mothballs stocking wherever, then whatever, it's better that way. I don't know. I've heard of people doing that in their RVs.
Yeah. Ooh. Wonder. I'm trying to think, where would they get through on the RV? I guess through the plumbing-ish area, right? I'm guessing.
Well, there could be some rust holes or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
They can find their way into.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or depending on where they're parked, if they're parked by a bush.
Yeah.
But while I'm thinking about it, can I talk to you about my my buddy who just started a new channel, that K&J Lumber?
Sure.
Yeah.
While you're talking, I'll pull him up real quick so I can.
Yeah. My buddy just hired a salesman.
K&J. What's the last part of the channel name?
K&J. You know, the word "and," not the ampersand. K&J Lumber Products Inc. They just started a new channel. The owner there has hired a salesman, and he's also doing some digital marketing.
Mm-hmm.
And that's actually my new job.
Oh, yeah? Let's see.
Yeah.
I found it.
Yeah, recently.
Hi, it's Kyle with King.
Sorry, I got the I'll turn the volume down a little bit and let one of the videos play, so it'll
Kyle.
so it'll stick. Okay, there we go. We got the first video playing. It looks like he doesn't have a lot of content yet, but I'm sure he'll work on it.
Oh yeah.
Especially if he gets more people. He's got 14 friends.
Yeah,
So he's brand new.
Pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
He's professionally making those videos. I mean, they're pretty good, you know.
Yeah.
But I thought I had better give him a shout out to help get him started, you know, with something, you know. And they're all planning to do a giveaway.
Oh, are they?
Mm-hmm.
Have to check that out. Yeah, this
cherry cutting board.
This is a good quality video. You can see it's really well. The coloring's good. Yeah. And he knows how to use the speed up thing because he looks like he's running through it. I like to do that on cooking videos, like where you're chopping something and it's literally taking you 20, 30 minutes, but you speed it up so it looks like you're doing this. You're doing this, but you're really not. You're really going like this. But in the thing, it looks like you're going like this. It's funny. I like that.
That's called the time lapse.
Yeah, I like that. I have that on my thing. They have slow-mo, but I don't know why you would use that. I'm not sure.
I don't use that often.
I might play with it one time and just see. It would be funny to hear your voice go or whatever it does.
No, it sounds like this.
Oh, whoa.
No, that's all me. All me.
It scared me. I didn't know you were going to do this. Ah! Oh, that's funny.
I have actually tried to do voiceover work in the past.
Bye, Della. Yeah, thank you for coming in.
Bye, Della. Or Delia.
Yeah, it was funny. I was telling them all the different genres of the people that have come up here. And I had you and I had your friend.
Logan.
That's it. L popped in my brain. It was like L. It's so funny when you're all over YouTube, you don't intend to forget anything, but you do. You're still subscribed to them, but your brain gets on to so many things and you forget things. And then, but I mean, I know I'm still subscribed to him, but yeah, I need to go visit him, Mr. Logan.
Oh, it's inevitable. Whenever you get so many other projects and
How's your channel doing? Where are
so
you
many-
at? Where are you at on your channel right now?
I haven't uploaded in a while, and today I just found out that I'm at 100 subscribers.
By Nisi? 100?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hope to upload soon. I've been having some new things come into my life, and I really had to take a break.
Yeah.
I really did.
Yeah, I took a little bit of a break when my sister passed away, and then even when I made videos, I would make videos where you weren't seeing me because I was still upset. But this is my first. Today was my first interview back since all that happened, so I wanted to come up and then just talk to everybody. And I'm here. I have my moments, of course, but I'm here. I'm alive. I'm surviving. I'm working, but working on stuff. I'm looking forward to gardening season. I did get into a seed swap, so I think that's going to help me replace some of the seeds that got ruined. So I should pretty much have everything I need. By the time I finish with that seed swap, I should have everything I need. What I did was I seed swapped some of the videos that were here, some of the seeds that were here in the house, some that I had too much of. And that way, and then I'll get back. I wrote a wish list, and she sent me a thing back saying, "Oh yeah, I have all that stuff." So she's going to send me all of it. So I won't need any. I won't need to buy any seed at all. All I had, I think I spent $4.50 or $5 to send that, and I'll get all the seeds I need with the seed swap. So I think it's a pretty good bargain.
Yeah, that's sweet.
I sent in six packs of. I only had to send 3, but I sent 6. I sent 6 packs that had 10 seeds each in them. So I sent 50 seed. It cost $4 or $5. She is pretty much going to send me all the seed that's on my list. So I'll have everything.
Come up here. Come up here. Come on.
Speed camping?
Come on.
Speed camping where you speed things up a variable rate. Yes. Yeah, I love that. I try not to do really long videos. I did do a 25-minute video on my craft channel where I'm actually showing somebody how to make something. And I'm sure Leanne understands this. When you're making something, it's kind of hard to rush. Now, you could speed it up like 1.1 on my camera thing, and you're not talking like Mickey Mouse. But once you pass 1.1 and you get into 1.2, you start sounding a little Mickey Mousey. You trying to show your dog? No. Yes. Okay. Working on it. Hey, Arkman Survival, how are you?
I should pick off.
I just redid last week. I redid my button lamp video I had posted 2 years ago. I redid that video the other day. If anybody wants to go by and check that out, where they talk about making this button lamp in the Little House on the Prairie books, and because they ran out of kerosene and they ran out of food and lots of other stuff too. But Mom showed how to make a button lamp on there, and so I did that video, and then I did it again because I figured it's all new people. And so your Truth and Myths answer video is premiering in an hour. Okay, I'll try to be there for you, Ariel. There's your dog.
Say hi. Yeah, he's kind of a funny mutt.
Dark. He's dark colored. What kind of dog is he?
Oh, you're gonna laugh when you hear that one.
Oh, a little bit of everything. Because you said mud.
No. He's a pit bull and wiener.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's a weird combination.
Yeah. He's kind of what you would say, well, imagine a Dachshund or the wiener, very muscular, and he's got a big butt. That's just,
That's funny. Cute.
but he's a good dog.
Thank you, Ariella, for putting up links. Appreciate it. Well, I'm probably going to get off here and go find myself something for dinner. It's already 6:30. Normally, I would be off already, but because Joe's not going live, I went for a little bit longer. Kind of break in the first live back at 2.5 hours. So thank you guys for hanging out. And thank you for coming up, Justin. I need to go check out your channel. See, when's the last video you posted? I need to comment on your friend's video first.
My goodness. I think it was like around August, maybe earlier.
I'm going to tell him I came from you.
Okay.
Go.
Oh.
So he'll know when he sees it. It won't let me type. What in the world? What's wrong with my phone?
Well, thank you
for
for
your comment. He's gonna be like, her comment is so random, but I'm trying to hurry. But then when I try to hurry, I start making mistakes.
Buddy here.
Dragon's Picks. Let's see how long it's been since you've posted a video. You hit 100, so now you're out on the community tab. So it should be easier for you to grow now. 5 months ago, you need to get on it, Justin. Get on it.
I know.
Get on it. Get that video. I expect a video this week.
We'll see.
That's your homework.
We'll see.
Thank you for coming up, Justin. I appreciate it. It's nice talking to you.
You too.
Bye, everybody. Thank you for coming out.
Have a good night, everybody.
Bye, everybody. Thank you for coming in. I appreciate all of you. Next week, I will have Sassy Southern NC Girl. The next week after that, I will have Simply Jan Homestead on. If you're interested in coming up for an interview, send me an email to gailssouthernliving@yahoo.com, and we will get that set up. Thank you guys for coming in. Bye, everybody. Thank you, Red Scout.